Hi everyone, Nico from Secure Corner here, and today I'm going to show you how to install the virtual central log from Tosibox. And before we can actually start, you have to choose a software that can run the virtual machine on. And you have a couple of options. I'm going to show you 3 options. One would be VirtualBox. You can just visit virtualbox.org, click on this download button. And once the page is loaded, you can see under platform packages, choose whatever platform you own. In my case, this would be a Windows host. Just click on it, gonna download an installer and just go through it. Always click next and install. And you're done. Same with the VMware workstation player. Make sure it's the player. This is the free version of VMware. Just download it, click on install and run through the installer, and you're gonna be good to go with the VMware player. And there's also another method, which is through Hyper-V. Just click the Windows button, type in Hyper-V and open it from here. If you're not seeing this here, you might not have Hyper-V activated. Just type in feature, it's gonna show you Windows feature activating, something like that in English. Click on it and it's going to pop up this menu. You want to scroll down to Hyper-V. Make sure everything is checked. Click on OK. And after that, it's going to start an installer to activate and enable the Hyper-V feature. Let it install. It's going to reboot after a while. And this reboot also might take a little bit longer than usual since it's activating the Hyper-V feature. And after that, you can just search for Hyper-V and it should be there. After that is done, you can then download the file from downloads.tosibox.com/VCL. Make sure you're in the latest folder and you can download the vhdx.zip if you're using Hyper-V. If you're using VMware, you can download the esx.ova, or in my case, if you're using VirtualBox, download the vbox.ova. Just click on it. It's going to start the download. I'm actually going to cancel this because I already have that downloaded before. So I'm going to open my folder right here. You should end up with this file. On the Hyper-V version, you should extract the folder and get this vhdx. And then let me open VirtualBox. The process is basically the same on Hyper-V or on VMware. The only difference would be that on Hyper-V you would have to create a new virtual machine, and on here we're gonna import a virtual machine. So click on File, then Import Appliance, and then you can click on this browser icon and look for the file that you just downloaded. Then click on Next after that. Alternatively, you can also just double click on the file and it's gonna show the same menu like this. You can just leave all of this on standard, except for if you want the virtual machine on another path. And after that, it's gonna start importing the appliance. Just wait for it to finish. Gonna take a little bit depending on how fast your computer is. Alright, so the import is now done and you're gonna get an overview of the virtual machine. It has now been imported into VirtualBox and everything seems fine, so we can hit start. And the first initial start might take a little bit longer than usual, and you're also gonna see some boot failures and whatnot. Just simply ignore them for now and just wait for maybe 1 or 2 minutes until the Tosibox UI pops up in a little bit. Alright, so we are now on the Tosibox UI where we have to do the first configuration. And before you do anything like set up your IP address or put in the license key, the very first thing you want to do is press Ctrl-N to open a new tab in your browser and just type in anything into Google to make sure your internet connection is working. You can also type in a speed test to see if it is actually properly working. Should be just fine to type in anything. Let me just accept these cookies, then do a speed test, and when you're doing this should be lower than what you usually get. In my case, it should be like 10 times of what I'm seeing here. That is completely normal. So we do have connection, everything seems fine. So first of all, you can use DHCP, or better to say you can use a static IP, but for the first initial installation, I would recommend you to not use a static IP and just use DHCP. I'm going to show you how to change that later. Next up, we can type in the license key. And if you don't already have one, you can go check out the description. There's going to be a link where you can acquire a virtual central log lite key. Just fill out the form and you can get one there. So now you can go to devices, then to shared clipboard, and then choose host to guest or bidirectional. This basically means you can copy something on your computer and then later paste it in the virtual machine. This way you don't have to type in everything and just copy the code from your email, paste in here, and then hit on activate. This might take a little bit because it's also need to download some files, activate it. So expect this to take like 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm gonna skip forward until this is done. Alright, so the installation is done now. We are on the Tosibox web UI now. This looks basically the same as usual. Just hit login. Username is admin. Password is also admin for the first time. Click login. Now type in admin for the old password and just set anything new. After that, just accept the user license agreement. Scroll all the way down. Click on I accept. And then you can see we have all the options available and we're logged in on our virtual central log page here. Now, if you look in the right side here, you can see Tosibox version 2.6.0.1 lite. This is how you know if you have the lite version or the regular virtual central log version. On the lite version, you only have access to 5 devices that you can have in total. So you're gonna see how many you have left on there. And in general, there are a lot of settings that we're gonna go through in another video. For this video, I just wanna show you the basics on how to install it, which also includes something in the network section. And this is how to set up a static IP. You remember in the initial install, I said that in most cases you want to use DHCP for the first installation, because this can prevent some problems that I've seen. And the way you change this is just go to Edit WAN configuration, change DHCP client to static address, and then hit on switch protocol. And there you can type in your information, your IP address, gateway, broadcast, DNS server, and whatnot. After you're done with that, just scroll down, click on save. In my case, DHCP is fine for now. Just hit status again to come back to the overview page. And yeah, I hope this video has helped you. And we're gonna see each other in the video on how to add a key in here and how to set up a couple of other options on the virtual central log.